Hello, everybody. I hope you're all okay and fine. Well, our main topic today is future tenses and future perfect tenses, actually. But I just want to make sure that you realize everything very well. Therefore, I would like to start by making a very quick revision of all the verb tenses. Let's start with the present continuous, okay? We generally use it to talk about actions that are happening at the moment of speaking. And as you know, these are the adverbs, time adverbs we use in the present continuous, okay? The example is father is in his room. He is working. He is working. We use this tense also to talk about actions not necessarily happening at the moment of speaking, but round now, especially with the time adverbs like these days, nowadays, this term, this year, this week, today, for example. And my mother is helping my aunt move house nowadays. Therefore, she is pretty busy actually. We also use present continuous to talk about changing situations. Okay? Life in Turkey is getting more and more expensive with each day, for example. In this form, it is better if we use a comparative form as well. We use present continuous to talk about things that happened repeatedly or that get on our nerves. Here we must use always or other time adverbs with the same meaning, such as constantly or forever. You're always talking more than enough, Yaz, okay, when we complain about Yaz, of course, okay? We use it also to talk about the actions that we have planned to do, usually in the near future. Like, I'm seeing my dentist after school this afternoon. Here, we use a future adverbial. Then comes the simple present tense. Of course, you know that we use this tense to talk about actions that we generally do as our routine. And you know the frequency adverbs we use with them, and also every. Like, we go to school 5 days a week. We never go to school with our casual clothes on, for example. At the same time, we use this tense to talk about actions that are carried out according to timetables with a future reference to show planned future at the same time. My plane to Istanbul takes off at 7 a.m. tomorrow is a good example for that, actually. Then comes the simple past. We use it to talk about actions completed in the past. And these are the time adverbs. Okay, we use in the past simple. Before I came to Adana in 1991, I lived in Istanbul. It shows a past action. The past continuous tense. Okay, we use it to talk about things that were in progress at a specified time in the past, at a given time in the past. Like yesterday at this time, I was having an online English lesson. Or when I saw you at 7:30 yesterday, you were jogging in the park. Or I was waiting out while my wife was shopping in the supermarket. Then comes the present perfect tense. Okay, as you can easily remember, we use have verb 3 to make a sentence in the present perfect. We use this tense to say that something just happened without using a definite past adverbial. Actually, the adverbials, time adverbs, we use in the past simple. We don't use them in the present perfect. Okay. Actually, this tense is used to give fresh news, and these are common adverbs used in the present perfect tense. Okay, fresh news. See, she has moved into her new house. Now she is in her new house. We use it at the same time to talk about the action, to talk about that the action we're talking about is still in progress. Like, I have worked for Başkent since 2017. Okay, this suggests that I'm still working there. Also, we use it to talk about the action, that the action referred to has taken place once, never, or several times before the moment of speaking. Like, I have never been to Australia. I've never done such a thing. Then accompanies the present perfect continuous tense. It is used like have, been, verb ing. We use it to talk about an action that recently stopped or is still going on. Okay, it may have just stopped. Okay, or it may still be going on. It is like, I've been living here since 1991, suggesting that I am still living here. Okay. The second form, okay, we use it to talk about a finished action that still influences the present. So I've been working nonstop all through the day. Okay. As a result of this, I'm tired now, and therefore I'm lying in bed resting. We can easily talk about a visible result of the action. Okay. I've been working nonstop all through the day. As a result of this, now I'm tired. That is the visible result, and I'm in bed resting. Note that the main difference between the present perfect and the present continuous is that had verb 3, present perfect, emphasizes the definite result of the action, while has been verb ing says that the action is still in progress. Okay? When we read this example, we can understand it in a much better way, I believe. Mr. Aitar has been saving up for a new house for almost 10 years now. He has saved 400,000 Turkish lira so far. The action of saving up money is not completed yet. It is still going on. And 400,000 Turkish lira is the definite result. Then we should move on to the past perfect tense. See, it is past perfect tense, okay? And that is the form we use. It is used to show that an action took place once or many times before another point in the past. So it takes us to a second point in the past. Before I moved to Adana in 1991, before this time, I had lived in Istanbul for 7 years. This happened before my moving to Adana in 1991. Then we have the past perfect continuous tense, and that is written with had been verb ing actually. It is used to show that an action had been going on for some time before another point in the past. It shows a kind of duration, how long an action was going on, for example. By the time I came home at about 11 p.m. last night, my son had been studying for 2.5 hours nonstop. See, for 2.5 hours nonstop. What I mean to emphasize is the past perfect continuous tense emphasizes the duration of an action in the past, in the very, very past. 9. Will and be going to future. Will is mainly used to show future predictions, willingness, momentary decisions, and promises, whereas be going to is used for planned future intentions and predictions supported by evidence. When we look at the first example, the person here says, wait, Mom, I've changed my mind. I'll go shopping with you. This shows that the speaker has just made a decision, a new decision, a momentary decision, and that she will go shopping with her mom. The second bit is, I've bought it for my daughter, most probably a piece of cloth. And she says, I have bought it for my daughter. I'm going to make her a dress. This is a kind of intention plan, actually, because she's going to make her daughter a dress. And in the next example, you say to the person on the street, stop sewing the branch you're sitting on, or you're going to fall down. Okay, this prediction is supported by evidence. Well, let's have a look at the exercises given here, okay, just to see whether you can remember the correct tense, okay? So have a look at the first statement. If my father comes home early this evening, this suggests that, a thing in the future is needed. What will you do? I blah blah him to give me one more chance of going abroad for my studies. But if my father comes home early this evening, might it be about future? Number 2 says, when the electricity went off just 3 minutes ago, Galatasaray. Right. So, well, is it past or past continuous? Can you just think about it? Galatasaray by 3-1 against Fenerbahce. What was happening at the time? Number 3, when my father arrived home very late last night, this is past, he found that all of us, yes, to bed, for which he really felt sorry. Most probably it was too late. Number 4 says, when we finally arrived home from Bodrum the other day, my father, blah, 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 for almost 14 hours. So something that happened before you did this. Number 5, after I had finished cooking all the dishes, this action was over. The guests, what did they do? I don't know how he dares to ask me to drive half of the way to Mersin. I really don't know it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, most probably there is a condition he needs to fulfill. And yes, find it out, please. I wonder when the president will finish his speech. He blah 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 non-stop since 10 a.m. and now it is almost 2 p.m. So an action that started in the past and which is still going on. Which tense is it? Got the point? Number 8. The father says, or makes a request when talking to his son. Son, could you please buy me my daily newspaper now? And the son says, surprising his father, I blah, 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 eat that. Here you are. Now he is presenting the newspaper to his father. So he most probably he did something that his father did not expect. So, and do not forget that it needs to be present at the same time. The phone blah blah at least 5 times before I could answer it. Before I could answer it. It gives you a clue about past. When I saw my son in the garden this morning, he blah 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 secretly. Unfortunately, this made me very desperate. My niece hard enough to pass the class last term. It must be passed, huh? I moved to Adana just a week ago, says the speaker, and blah blah with a friend for the time being. Now, in a way, I'm thinking of renting my own flat as soon as I blah blah my first salary. It suggests a kind of future, doesn't it? Number 13 says, I always blah blah it easy to study at home after everyone blah blah to bed. It sounds to me that it is very present simple, huh? Okay. And here, you are in a way complaining in number 14, I guess. Okay. Be careful. There is always here. Well, see the exclamation mark. Blah, blah. Very simple mistakes. Most probably it is a teacher. Okay. Talking to the student. Stop hurrying. Take your time and do things calmly, please. So, what kind of a complaint or warning can it be? And finally, I blah blah a party tonight after 9. Planned future. Would you like to join? So, let's see the key. Okay. If my father comes home early this evening, I would ask him to give me one more chance of going abroad for my studies. Okay. When the electricity went off just 3 minutes ago, Galatasaray was leading by 3 goals to 1 against Fenerbahce. When my father arrived home very late last night, he found that all of us had already gone to bed, for which he really felt sorry. Most probably he shouldn't have come so late then. For when we finally arrived home from Bodrum the other day, my father had been driving for almost 14 hours duration. Don't forget. After I had finished cooking all the dishes, the guests arrived. They just came, turned up. I don't know how he dares to ask me to drive half of the way to Mersin. He hasn't passed his driving test yet. Mind you, there is yet. I wonder when the president will finish his speech. He's been talking non-stop since 10 a.m. and now it is almost 2 p.m. Son, could you please buy me my daily newspaper now? I have already bought it, Dad. Here you are. Typical present perfect tense, right? The phone rang at least 5 times before I could answer it. When I saw my son in the garden this morning, you know what he was doing? He was smoking secretly, unfortunately, which made me feel desperate. My niece didn't study hard enough to pass the class last term. She didn't study hard enough last term. I moved to Atlanta just a week ago and am staying with a friend for the time being, temporarily, actually. I'm thinking of renting my own flat as soon as I get paid my first salary. I always find it easy to study at home after everyone goes to bed. It makes me concentrate very well because you're always making very simple mistakes. Stop hurrying. Take your time and do things calmly, please. I'm throwing a party tonight after 9. Would you like to join? People, now it is time for future tenses. When do we use future continuous tense? Okay, will be verb ing or is are going to be verb ing. We use it to talk about things that will be in progress, that will be continuing at a given time in the future. Like tomorrow at this time next week, a year from now on, tonight between 12 and 2, for example. The first one goes, tomorrow at this time, I will be teaching you again. This time next week, you all will be staying at home again, unfortunately. And you can follow the next 2 as well. Future perfect tense and future perfect continuous tense. Okay? We use will have verb 3 to talk about actions that will finish, that will have finished at some time between now and a specified time in the future. It will have finished. And will have been verb ing to talk about actions that will have been going on for some time. It should show duration again at the given time. When we look at the given 2 examples here, we can, I guess, understand it much better. By the end of this terrible year, mind you, I'm saying terrible year because it is really terrible with all this coronavirus case. By the end of this terrible years, we all will have lost lots of money and time because of coronavirus. We will have lost by the end of this year. By next year, at around this time, let's say we are in April. By next year, at around this time, most of us will have been studying English for 10 years. The action will not be completed. It will still be going on. So the second set of exercises are now on the screen, people. So just try to answer them. My mother and I will start studying math at 5 p.m. till 6:15. My sister will come home at 6. So, by the time my sister comes home at 6, my mother and I, we write. Since 5 p.m., it should show a duration in the future, see? By 6:30, see, we will finish at 6. By 6:30 this evening, we blah, 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 studying math. Okay? It will be completed. Mind you, we use by. Okay, we'll have verb 3 maybe. 2. I started to work for Başkent High in 2017. Now, I blah blah here for almost 3 years, an action that started in the past and which is still going on. By the end of this school year, I blah 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 3 exact years here at Başkent. Okay, future this time. We'll have verb 3 maybe. Our meeting will start at 6 p.m. and will end at 8 p.m. And the principal will join us at 7 p.m. By the time the principal joins us, yes, so the action will not finish. It will be going on, but see, mind you, we need to show a duration in the future. By 8 p.m., we blah, 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 all the points in the agenda because everything will be over then. By next year, now we are in 2020, I guess, 2020. Next year will be 2021. By next year, Mr. Erdogan, blah, blah, our country since 2002. So we need to form a future tense statement here. Mr. Erdogan, Turkey for almost 18 years now. He started running Turkey in the past, and the action is still going on. So far, I would like to give a kind of result here. So far, Mr. Erdogan, blah, blah, with 12 different cabinets of ministers. Okay, I am trying to give a definite result about the action Mr. Erdogan has done or did. 7. If farmers do not start planting their crops right now, by the end of next year, 1/20 of the world population by hunger in this future. By the time I reached the hotel yesterday in the evening, what happened? All of my guests, were they still there? Let's see. My mother and I will start studying math at 5 p.m. till 6:15. My sister will come home at 6. By the time my sister comes home at 6, my mother and I will have been studying since 5 p.m. By 6:30 this evening, we will have already finished studying math. I started to work for Başkent High in 2017. Now I have been working here for almost 3 years. And by the end of the school year, I will have completed 3 exact years. Our meeting will start at 6 and will end at 8 p.m. The principal will join us at 7. By the time the principal joins us, we will have been having our meeting for exactly 1 hour. It shows duration. By 8:15, the meeting will be over. By 8:15, we will have discussed all the points in the agenda. By next year, Mr. Erdogan will have been running our country since 2002. And in the 5th, we say Mr. Erdogan has been running Turkey for almost 18 years now. So far, he has worked, definite result. So far, he has worked with 12 different cabinets of ministers. And a back case or prediction, I hope it is just a prediction that cannot be realized. If farmers do not start planting their crops right now, by the end of next year, 1/20 of the world population will have died by hunger. By the time I reached the hotel yesterday in the evening, all of my guests had left. People, thanks for listening.